Hello, welcome to Violet Shadow Tarot. Today I'm going to be just doing a general reading and we're going to be asking the question of what needs to come through. So messages that need to come through. What do we need to see? And hope is that the message finds those who it is intended to find. So what do we need to see? Luck is on your side. New moon in Sagittarius. Okay. Let's keep going. What do we need to see? Caching. Caching. What? Ooh, something flew. Let's see what flew. All right, so we have the river and the temple. All right. And one more. All right, so the eel and the iris, safety. All right, so we have energy coming through. The river came out reverse, so we're going to read it kind of this way. And then let me move this over. We have a couple things coming through right now. So luck is on your side. Caching, I think that's caching, not catching. Let's see what the book says for this particular card. It says, one day while feeding my neighborhood crows, I noticed one of them using their beak to dig a hole. The bird then swiftly opened its mouth and dropped it in the food. It was saving the food for later. The crow didn't want to eat the food, but it also didn't want to leave it around for some other creature to enjoy. You may find yourself either keeping an idea or a possession hidden till the time it is right, or simply unwilling to let go of something you aren't using out of the fear that someone else may benefit from your release. Okay, so that's really interesting. Because we have it next to the river card and the temple. So the temple talks about, like, a lot of times it can talk about like your body and like safety, but like this temple card looks like it's actually talking more about like life being sacred, and life being like your sanctuary. So it should be a place of like safety and growth and positivity. This also being next to the eel and the iris card, this is about safety. And then when you read, these cards have kind of like shadow and light meanings. And so when it's upside, or when it's reverse, it's like a shadow kind of a reading. And it could be about being overwhelmed or flooded with something, and emotional torment. So with all of these put together, this is making me think that something that has been going on with you, something that you have been through, or an environment that you're in now, or situation that you're in now, you're having to kind of retreat within yourself and keep things like safe for yourself, because it's not safe to either share things, or whether that be like thoughts and feelings, when again, this could be something that means very much to you. The things that you're having to hide, but you're also trying to keep your life safe from somebody else's taking, basically, is what we saw for this card. So let's look into more. Let me pull some tarot. Which deck should I use? I think I want to use the El Goliath deck. Because this is really interesting. This could be a lot of different things. I do have some intuition saying that this is actually very, very close to you. Maybe even in your own home that you're having to do this. But let me see what the cards have to tell us. So what do we need to see with this? Okay, the Two of Cups. It could be a relationship. The Sun in reverse. Okay. And then this is the Shadow Dream Catcher. Okay. So this is really interesting. This, again, this could be talking about a relationship. I did have a feeling, some of you, this is very close to home. A situation that is literally your house. The Temple can also mean, can also kind of hint towards those things. So let's see where this keeps going. But this does seem, again, to be connected to somebody else. And there's either a fear here of losing something, or you have seen things that cause you to kind of intuitively, or maybe you're not sure if it's intuitive or if it's out of anxiety, hold some things close to you so that you can keep it safe and keep yourself safe and keep those around you safe. The Sage is at the bottom of the deck here. And that card represents like purity. And again, I was getting like, I don't know if you think it's your intuition or your anxiety or a little bit of both where you're having to do this, but it is showing that you're having to hold something very dear. So the Queen of Pentacles, the Emperor, and then the Chariot in reverse. Okay, so right here, there's a situation for some of you that you're in a situation where you don't feel like you have much control, or you can't currently make it better for yourself. You can't currently get out of it. And it's almost like you, by keeping some things close to you and not really letting everything out in the open, again, you feel like you have to do this for a reason. And it gives you it gives you kind of a sense of stability within an unstable situation. I don't think that it's going to be different for everybody, but I don't think that it's kind of like one of the, it's kind of like a situation where you're processing, you've had time to process something and to see something, and then maybe you're trying to figure out what you want to do and where you want to go with something, or you just have lost things in the past and you don't want to lose maybe the ways that you went around doing it in the past. You don't want to lose these things again, or you don't want to lose whatever you're kind of stowing away or harvesting or just keeping to yourself. But again, it's also, there's some of you that just at the moment, like this is what you are having to be doing. Let's see what else we can get. Okay, Judgment. The Moon. And the Eight of Wands. Okay. So when we look at all of the cards together, we have a couple cards that talk about the shadow and talk about the unconscious. So there's something hinting, maybe this is somebody else's like unfair treatment of you or their shadow showing that has caused you to see some things that are kind of like underneath the surface, and that's why you're doing this. And with the Shadow Dreamcatcher card, specifically, it's almost like, and then the Sage card, it's like you're seeing some things that maybe other people can't see and that you didn't necessarily see in the beginning because it wasn't something that was out in the open and shown. But now you're having to kind of focus on that. And because you're having to kind of focus on that, because you need to be aware. You need to be aware of what's going on around you to keep yourself safe and to keep something to keep something going into fruition and not be taken from you. So to actually be able to have something, and it almost seems like stolen from you, because we have the Judgment card and then the Eight of Wands. I feel like you're afraid of not, I mean, someone taking something and running, or there's a very big weight that kind of is not knowing what someone else's actions are going to be, but having it be negatively affected to you, or like you and your close, your family around you, or within your own house, or just something that should be safe, but it doesn't feel safe for you. Now, at the beginning of the reading, we have the card that says luck is on your side. So I'm going to keep going. I think I'm going to let me use this deck right here. I'm going to keep going and kind of see what kind of advice we have for you, because the luck is on your side card makes me feel like within this situation, it's not going to go as badly as you think. Let me get this deck out and let's see. Let's ask for some advice. Advice for this situation you really want to. Okay. We have the Six of Pentacles. The Eight of Swords in reverse. Okay. The Two of Cups. The Three of Cups. Bottom of the deck, we have the Chariot in reverse again. Okay. So again, if you're in a situation that you're just stuck in the situation right now, or you're trying to figure, like you're not making movement because you don't quite know how to make the movement yet. One thing, like I was saying prior to pulling these cards, I do think that there's more. Things aren't necessarily going to go as negatively as you fear, because there's part of this is your intuition and part of this is fear. And it's not necessarily going to go as bad as you fear. It's going to go a little bit better, but I think that your intuition to be holding certain things close and kind of keeping those things to yourself, I actually think that you're doing the right thing by doing that. And even though it's causing you, I think, a little bit of, not a little bit, that was not, it's not causing you a little bit of strife. Like, this is something that is weighing very, very heavy on you. And you, again, this is kind of showing me you not knowing what's going to happen around you. And some of you, the Eight of Swords reverses can be feeling trapped or vulnerable, and having like regret, just a lot of like negative emotions with the Eight of Swords in reverse. So your advice here, I think that you're doing the right thing, but there's just a little bit of reassurance being shown to you that it's not going to be as bad as you think it necessarily will be. Chariot is in reverse. And Temperance is in reverse. And that's interesting. You may be dealing with some people who, reckless comes to mind, because if you don't really know if they don't have your best interest, or if they just don't think, and it negatively affects you, obviously that's something that's negative. So if that's something that has happened in the past, it's kind of like a warning. And then Temperance being in reverse too, it's kind of like it's just not fair because you're being negatively affected by other outside just actions and behaviors and just, you know, other people, other situations. And, you know, that's not fair. And of course, being in a situation like that, that would 100% make you feel this way. Because you want to hold on to something because you're just afraid of something bad happening again. Now, you know, again, you have an intuition here. We picked it up in the beginning and then we picked it up all like partially ways through it, like where it's showing you that you do have intuition, and then some of it is also fear, which makes complete sense. So know one thing, that you do have the ability to see to pick up on people's shadow that's coming through, because the people doing things that are negatively affecting others and just kind of, you know, that continue to do things like that, you know, their shadow is showing when that's happening. And just know that it's, you know, you're doing the right thing, and whether or not you know how you're going to either, whatever this is to you, get out, if this is like a relationship that keeps happening, this happens with, whether that's something that you're trying to figure out or not, like you do, some of this is just to remind you that some of it is fear and it's going to go better, but you're doing things smartly because you're listening to your intuition. So that's a very, very good thing for you to be able to do, to listen to your intuition and pick up on it. So that's great. I do want to pull some charms. Let me see if we can get some. I gotta move my coffees out the way. Let's see if we can get some sort of charms out that you can resonate with, or that might tell you like a little bit more for yourself. All right, we have a wave. We have love. We have a star with a fairy in it. We have a star kind of like with a little crescent moon shape in it. We have an angel, and on the back it says Gabriel. We have a little circle that has trust, love, dream, hope. We have a key. We have a butterfly. We have, I think, footprints. Yes, we have footprints. We have another little fairy. We have a tree. This is a lot of, to me, I'm getting like a lot of like natural sort of vibes, but then also like bigger than you sorts of vibes, and faith, and also just like your own personal like beliefs, what makes you feel good and what you like, and whimsical. Some of these I have not seen before, some of these little. So we have a elephant, another tree. We have an elephant, a little Hello Kitty, and then an owl and a tree, and then a Pegasus. See, like it's nostalgic sort of. It's nostalgic sort of energy. Ooh. All right, so this looks like, I think, a starfish. This is the Queen Elizabeth pendant. This is kind of funny. This is another moon and star symbol, kind of like the one over here, but it has a safety pin. These are two charms that aren't supposed to be together, that's basically stuck together. But there's a safety pin around it. That's really interesting. Makes me wonder if you're holding on to, like, if you're keeping, part of this is actually keeping your beliefs or something that deep. Like you don't feel like you're safe enough to talk about that. Or if you just don't want this individual to be able to take away, or the situation to take away, like your moon and your stars, the way that you are able to kind of still dream and live another star. It's a big deal. Whatever this is, it's a big deal. Did one fall? No. So a boat and a star and a sun. Another elephant. Eiffel Tower with more stars. There's definitely, if you have interest in, like, excuse me, if you have interest in astrology and that sort of thing, there's something big here about that, because there's a lot of that kind of coming through. And I think that that's an important message. There's something here that's very, very important to you that, like, not to give up on, or not to feel bad for, like, being interested in, or that being one of, you know, your things. We have a moon, and then we have a bow. Yeah, I think that for some of you, and the moon has, like, some filigree on it. That's why it kind of looks like feathers, but it's just a moon with filigree on the outside. So I do think that it's like some of you, it like halts you in a way where you feel like you can't follow something that makes you feel you, things that you're interested in. So yeah, I mean, if that's something, then definitely don't let somebody make you feel that way. That's not, or don't allow them to stay making you feel that way. That might be a better way of saying that. We have a ballerina, and then we have a peace sign. So yeah, if anything did resonate with you, let me know. You definitely have some gifts of seeing things, and you know, congratulations if it's something that you're just coming into, that might be it, or if it's just something that you know, you don't share with everybody. I mean, that makes perfect sense too. But with this reading, I do, you know, again, want to reiterate that it looks like you're doing the right thing. Maybe try to figure out, maybe think about if some of this stuff is out of fear, but you're going to end up better than you think that you're going to end up, whatever the situation is for you. But you're doing the right thing to have the feeling of holding something close to you. So if this or the reading resonates, do let me know. Just in some way, interact some way with the video. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope to see you again soon.